One of the things that the Taoiseach tells us repeatedly is that the economic crisis that we are experiencing is largely due to international factors which are outside the control of the government. And some of that is true, but there are some things that are within our control. And one of the things which is within our control is the state of our own country's industrial relations. Now, we are now facing into a spate of strikes over the next couple of weeks. Tomorrow, the Civil and Public Service Union will take strike action, closing every tax office, social welfare office. Indeed, our own hard-working staff here in Leinster House will be on strike. On Saturday, there will be a bus strike because the trade unions are concerned, understandably, that at a time when it's official government policy to increase public transport, bus routes are being dropped and bus workers are being let go, and there's an all-out strike in the buses planned from next Monday. Yesterday, the Irish Congress of Trade Unions took a decision that it is going to ballot for strike action for an all-out strike on the 30th of March. And on Saturday, we had 120,000 workers on the streets of Dublin. Now, the anger that is being felt by these workers, I think, is understandable when you consider that the lowest paid worker in a hospital is having her wages cut, while this week the Minister for Health announces that the highest paid people in our health system, hospital consultants, are to get a huge increase. And that increase is announced on the very day that the HSE announces that it is going to cut frontline services. Now, on top of our banking problem, on top of the job losses, on top of the overall problems we have in our country, the last thing we need now is a period of industrial unrest and of strikes. And they can be avoided. And the way to avoid them is to talk and to get agreement on the issues that are of concern to people. The General Secretary of the Congress of Trade Unions was on radio this morning saying that he is willing to talk. The Taoiseach says he'll talk to the trade unions, but only after he has put the pension levy through the House. When you've done that, Taoiseach, there won't be much left to talk about, because the bill that you're putting through the House doesn't allow for any flexibility subsequently in discussions that you might have. So can I make this suggestion to you? Will you suspend the putting of the legislation through the Houses, have the discussions with the trade unions which they're willing to have with you, at least make some adjustments to that levy to make it more fair? Everybody in this House understands that there are some things that are manifestly unfair, inconsistent and anomalous in that whole pension levy arrangement. At least attempt to reach agreement on those issues, get changes to it before the legislation is enacted and the door is closed on it, and avoid the strikes which are perfectly avoidable if discussions take place with the trade unions representing the workers concerned.